my story is like, and like an evolution of business, when you're developing a fantasy universe develops over time too. Like you first write your first script, whatever comes to your head or whatever, and then you start thinking like, how can we make the characters cooler? Or you start working with concept artists and you describe the character and they come back with this and you're like, it'd be kind of cool if it was like this. And they come back with another version. Kind of cool if it was like this. And then you start having to think about how do you like dragons have sex? You know, you have to like think of the most crazy things. So in my fantasy universe though, I wanted to make the dragon kings more interesting. And I don't think this has been done. At least I haven't seen anything like this yet. In my universe, the dragon kings, or the dragon bloods we call them, because there's like dragon knights, like dragon kings. They drink the blood of their own dragon. And it actually changes their like skin into like scaly. So they become humanoids, like half dragon, half human. And they have to keep drinking their dragon's blood. So there's like this whole society built into like extracting the blood, giving it to their king, giving it to the emperor. And like, if you're the emperor, you drink the blood of all your dragon kings as well as your own dragons. And that way you have some control over their dragons. And it's all like this hierarchical thing. Yeah. It is really cool.
That's a sick fucking idea, bro.
Yeah.
Sick concept.
But then you think about, okay, if you had a dragon princess and a dragon king, boom, 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 what comes out of them? Is it a dragon humanoid or is it? Yeah. And does it have to? And so I started thinking about them. Like, I think it makes sense that it would have to be given its own dragon as soon as it's born, because it needs to have the blood of the dragon as soon as it's born, or else it will die.
So it would match with dragons would have baby, and then that would be mixed in. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so it's like this is funny when you start, they call it the Bible, but it's basically like an encyclopedia of your fantasy universe. You start having to think about all these things. So you write the story script, but then you have to write thousands of pages about like the names of the cities, the names of the emperor. So you start with like crests and stuff, like family crests. It's really fascinating. And like one of the components of Bellatorum that I'm really passionate about was like the origin story. What is this world all about? And I like the concept of good and evil, being like good against evil. Game of Thrones is interesting too because it's a little more nuanced. And I wanted a little bit of the nuance, but I also want a little bit of the traditional good and evil. So in Bellatorum, the origin script is going to be called Birth of the Two Spirits. And it's a little bit of an origin story to the universe. Like, just like a lot of major, like, you know, religions or a lot of major, like, myths, they have this sort of origin story of the universe. I wanted us to have an origin story. So there's like 8 counselors of the universe. They're kind of like gods in a way. And one god kind of goes off on his own because he really wants to experiment with like biological matter. He's the counselor of biology and chemistry, and he rules that aspect of the universe. And in that universe, at the time, it's like a utopia. There's neither good, there's neither bad, there's neither pleasure, there's pain. Everyone's living this very like balanced lifestyle at the beginning of the universe. And then he starts experimenting with, you know, different organic matter, which is prohibited by the rest of the counselors, have prohibited the experimentation of organic matter, but he starts experimenting with organic matter illegally. And so the counselor who runs the army or the military sends his little troops in to like bust things up, arrest him. And the irony there is like, as they enter his laboratory, it causes a disruption. The 2 vials come up into the air, smash into the ground, mix together, and out of it comes the 2 spirits, the Monachi and the Cersei. And everyone in the universe from that point on, because it spreads like a virus, has either Monachi in them or Cersei within them. You can think of this almost like Sith or the Jedi.